think I'm going to remember this wine next time I have it.
This wine is ready for me to drink.
Okay.
Right now.
Now you can drink it.
There are many winemaking regions in the world besides France. This time, we talk about wine from Argentina. Now, dance is very important to the identity of Argentina, and so is wine. A fact you might not know, Argentina is the 5th largest wine producer in the world.
I think that the most special thing of the wines in Argentina is that Argentina has shown that it's capable to keep a consistency in the quality of their wines. Cheers!
Now it's time for C'est la Vie's 4th lesson. What to do with your leftover wine.
Oh, honey. I think we need to go to the supermarket. I forgot. We need to buy some wine for the next party.
Oh, yeah. Well, hold on. I think we still have some left over from the weekend. Let me go check.
Maybe we do.
I hope it's good.
We shall see.
Well, there's only one way to find out, right?
Yep.
There you go. Try that.
Thank you.
One for me.
Not so sure about this, actually.
Really?
Yeah, how about you try it first?
No, I don't think so.
A little bit too late. Oh well, it was really yummy.
A bummer.
Anthony, no worry, I can help you. So, I have some wet wine from last night. And then I will use the wet wine to do poached wet wine chicken. So all the wet wine, actually they have a very, very good flavor when you use for cooking, especially we do the chicken or beef.
Okay, let's follow the chef to prepare this great dish. First, prepare the vegetables. We have onions, shallots, leeks, and carrots here. And then sprinkle salt and pepper to season the chicken pieces. And as Eddie said, any parts of the chicken can be used.
So now, I put the wet wine to the chicken.
Make sure you marinate the chicken with red wine overnight before frying them. So which red wine? Well, any of your leftover wine will do, which adds rich flavors to the chicken. And then you fry it on medium heat, and at the same time, boil the marinated red wine sauce to prepare the poaching. Add the gravy sauce and put it to boil, and then you can poach the chicken until well done. Next, cook the leek with the cream. The leek stew will provide creamy and sweet flavors, and it goes really well with the chicken. And finally, just decorate your dish according to your own style.
So the poached spring chicken in red wine is done.
Extreme innovative Chinese cuisine is celebrity chefs Alvin Leung's signature dishes. How to pair those unique dishes with the right wine.
Thank you everyone for coming today. We're going to have a really interesting experience pairing innovative Chinese cuisine with different wines. This is Alvin Leung, a celebrity chef with 3 Michelin stars in Hong Kong, who is really going to describe to us the journey we're taking in terms of the food that we're enjoying today. Charlene Dawes, basically owner of Tasting Group, with wine bar, whiskey bar, and a lot of retail outlets in Central. And Jeremy Stockman, who's the general manager of Watson's Wine.
Make it easy for you. The first dish, wine on wine.
Okay.
So it's a ceviche. It's got notes of course, Chinese Shaoxing wine. It's got some sweetness from the peas. It's got acidity from the lime I used because it is a ceviche.
Yes.
You got the fresh scallops from Hokkaido. What else can I say? So
wonderful. Let's try. Oh, I love the texture of the crispy rice. It's a little bit of a challenge with this wine, I think. The Semillon is lovely on its own. It has that round palate, good acidity, hint of lime also, so I thought it would work better, but somehow it makes the scallop taste a little bit more seafood. The seafood elements come out more.
I think as you said, the wine makes the scallop a little bit more, slightly more fishy compared to,
yes.
just a bit. But I think the rest of it together helps take that little fishiness off of it.
So next we have this amazing dish which is themed umami.
By definition, is the taste or the essence of savory.
Jeremy very kindly will introduce to us the Viña Tondonia, where this very specific white Rioja has been aged for a long time.
Indeed. Yeah, so this is a 1991 Grand Reserva, 10 years in barrel, and then another 12 years in bottle. So it is a very old wine. So they invest a lot of time in aging this wine to hold this wine for so long before releasing. And it means that we're tasting a lot of secondary characters. You can see from the color and the nose, and there's a lot of citrus peel and older notes in there and some oxidation, which is supposed to be there. But what would be interesting to see that depth of flavor with the umami.
It's beautiful. How's the pairing, Charlotte?
There's that the golden, very warm feeling that matches really well with the dish, and also I think I quite like the dry shrimp flavor, and surprisingly it goes really well with. I was thinking about dry shrimp and how that works with the wine.
No, I agree. I think that the flavors are very present on the wine, exactly as you say. So once you've had something to eat, it's a very lifted, bright.
We now have in front of us this amazing dish called bakute, but I lived in Malaysia and this is nothing like the bakute I've ever had in Malaysia.
You know, to be honest, I really want to take you to a journey of taste through Asia. And bakute, you probably had it in Singapore, you might have had it in Malaysia.
Yes.
Actually, it's two different versions. The one in Singapore is done with white pepper. It's probably more of a chow chow dish. And the one in Malaysia is done with herbs, or Chinese, most dominantly Chinese angelica, okay, or dong guai.
And so for the wine, we have the Purple Angel by Monte. So Jeremy, tell us a little bit about this wine.
Well, reading about the dish, and not having tried it yet, I was trying to find a wine that would have enough spice in it, and maybe some herbal notes, some slightly lighter herbal notes, and a touch of sweetness, which made me think of Carmenere. And I think Montes are one of the great Chilean producers of Carmenere, and it's become like the native grape of Chile. It's probably the world specialist of Carmenere now, is Chile.
Yes. Wonderful flavors. Very intense. I think this would be a very popular dish. I talk about texture even in white wine, because I think acidity also has texture. And the longer, let's talk about vintage champagne versus just a non-vintage brut. The texture of the acidity and the carbonation is totally different on your palate. The longer aged on its lees, you get acidity on your tongue that is much more graceful, more silky. Whereas if you have a young, very acidic white wine or champagne, it's sharp, almost like a razor going through your tongue. The way it glides over, it is different. So I talk about texture whether it's white or red wine. So it's very important. And here, I think we lived up to the challenge. I'm very happy with this pairing. Thank you so much, all.
To explore the world of wine, follow us to France, the quintessential wine region of the world. First, Jeannie and I will head to Bordeaux, the oldest and largest wine growing region. Here, we will visit different chateaux, meet some of the biggest names in the wine world. We will also visit Burgundy, where premium Pinot Noir and Chardonnay are produced. After these trips, you may not be an expert in wine, but at least you'll know how to appreciate your glass of wine better. The city of Bordeaux has 347 listed buildings, and Port of the Moon, the port city of Bordeaux in southwest France, is a historical city with an outstanding urban and architectural ensemble. whose rich traditional values continue today, with more protected buildings than any other French city except Paris. This entire area is called Port of the Moon, and Palais de la Bourse, which is part of it, has been listed as a World Heritage Site since 2007. Now, this is one of Bordeaux's most beautiful squares, and this entire area is covered by gorgeous, remarkable heritage buildings. Families, artists, amateur and professional photographers, young and old alike, cannot resist the Bordeaux water mirror, a top attraction in Bordeaux. This giant rectangle is covered in only 2 centimeters of water over granite flagstones. An ingenious computerized water system underneath alternates between the water mirror and a 2-meter-high fog effect. Now I'm standing in what's kind of like a giant water fountain. Originally, it was like for a mirroring effect for taking photos against the buildings. But during the summer, it's a great place for all the kids to play. Now you might think this is just a water park for kids, but that's not true. While I was there, I saw everybody, tourists, families, elderly couples, all enjoying the water park. It was very intriguing. Everyone wanted to try and put their feet in the water. Let's find out what others think.
I live in Bordeaux, in the city center. Yeah. My job, I'm winemaker. I make a wine in different wineries. Bordeaux, the city or the wine of city, is a new city. It's an old city, but changed a lot. Now it's very different places where you can communicate, you can play with children. And in Bordeaux, there are now a lot of wine shops and the wine tasting, and it's very pleasure to live in Bordeaux.
I'm here just outside of Chateau Le Bon Pasteur, a small family-owned property in the heart of Pomerol. This is common in Pomerol, where you have much smaller properties than you do on the left bank. And here, instead of Cabernet Sauvignon, it's Merlot dominant. About 80 to 90% Merlot and up to 100%. So we're here to meet the world-famous enologist who formerly owned this property for 3 generations and recently sold it to a Chinese businessman. Michel, thank you for seeing me today. This is Michel Roland, world-famous enologist and consultant to really hundreds of wineries around the world. Did you always know that you wanted to be in the wine industry? Was this something you were born with?
Yes, I think so. Because my family owned Le Bon Pasteur traditionally, and so I grew up there, so I don't know if my parents asked me one day if I want to do something else, and I don't think so.
They assumed.
My father and my mother told me, you have to learn viticulture, you have to learn enology, and you have to be enologist. And so, because I am a very good son, I did.
So you always knew you were going to be an enologist, and then you went and became the most sought after, the most demanded enologist around the world. In your consulting work, what are some of the major changes that you've made in the vineyard and winery?
We can write a book about that because we
pick a few examples?
in the last 40 years almost anything changed. But we have to know, or people have to know, enology never came to make quality or good wines. Enology came just to avoid problems, and the wine was not good because VA, because bad acidity, because many other diseases in the wine, and we try to understand why those diseases was damaging the wine.
Right.
Is the first step, and in fact, my first 15 years in my life has been to fight with the people in the cellar to improve their cellar to be clean, to take care about everything in contact with the wine. So we did that during 10 or 15 years. And after that came the second step. We can improve the wines, improving the grapes, improving because we have wonderful example through the best year like 29, 47, 61, where was the difference? Not the winemaking, just the grapes was better. So we began to work in the vineyard, and we did many things in the vineyard, and mostly to control the vigor, to control the yield, to speak about maturity has been the magic word in the
20 years.
In the wine world, because 25 years ago around the world nobody almost was speaking about maturity. Now if you are going all over the world, everybody is speaking about maturity.
Yes.
Okay, nobody knows exactly what mean, but we speak about, and so that's where we had a very dramatic change, and we did much better wine because we were doing better in the cellar, and we were harvesting grapes with good maturity, and many other details, because at one moment, you know, it's like Formula One. We have to manage the detail to try to go up and to improve all the time.
Best. Yes.
Well, Jeannie, this is absolutely gorgeous in the middle of France here. What is this chateau?
So right behind us is Chateau Pontet-Canet. Wow. We're in the middle of Pauillac, not too far from Mouton Rothschild, actually. And Pontet-Canet has been a real pioneer in organic and biodynamic farming.
Pontet-Canet in Pauillac is the only Grand Cru Classé in Bordeaux that is produced 100% biodynamically. The chateau actually began its conversion to the biodynamic farming philosophy 10 years ago, but was unfortunately set back by the wet 2007 vintage, when spraying was needed to protect the crop from rotting. This is one of the problems many producers in Bordeaux face should they wish to convert to the biodynamic principles, as the climate is affected by the rain coming in from the Atlantic, and mildew can be problematic. In addition to the biodynamics, the chateau has also reverted to horsepower to lessen the heavy machinery on the terroir and, of course, the impact with the carbon footprint. This is truly an organic wine with a respect to the nature.
Melanie, thank you so much for having us at Pontet-Canet today.
Yes.
I know you're the third generation in your family getting involved with this wonderful, pretty large chateau in Pauillac. And the most unusual thing, as Anthony and I discovered, really, is that you're using horses for over 30 hectares of this really large property. Tell us a little bit about, what the incentive was and how it's made a difference.
Thank you. Well, the idea of working with the horses was because we started working organically and biodynamically in 2004. And it was in 2005 that we went 100%. So in 2004, it was more of an experimentation, working roughly 30%. We saw after the alcoholic fermentations, the wines were a lot more complex, the tannins were rounder, there was more definition in the wines. And working organically is no chemicals, biodynamically, a bit like Chinese medicine, the yin and the yang, working with the cycles of the vineyard, nature, guiding the vines rather than trying to manipulate them. And by doing so, we noticed that there was a phenomenon of compactation in the soils. And it was difficult for the roots to get the nutrition at ease to the vines. So we started thinking of how we could do it, after trial and error. And then came the idea of, well, what about horses? Let's experiment to try.
Many wineries have adopted biodynamic as a way to cultivate the grapes. It's certainly a good way to recover the land. But I'm sure you're curious if this growing method makes a difference to the taste of the wine. Well, here's a result. In 2009, a news reported the idea that the taste of the wine changes with the lunar calendar. This is certainly gaining credibility among the UK's major retailers, and that's why more wineries have started to follow. Now, I've tried many of these organic wines, and I appreciate knowing that these wine producers are environmentally conscious.